morning. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization. And we'll be hearing petition number 2025-018 for parcel number 35494-1305380066, represented by Kyle Hussey, who is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville as chair, Jared Gingrich as vice chair, and Mark Steinmetz as a member. We reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay. The appellant will go first and present, and then testimony will be followed by the appraiser. So go ahead.
So I guess the research that I've done from a market value perspective, both from a state, county, and city, reflect a average of 5% increase in property value for market value percentage base. With that perspective, as I looked at over the last 5 years, my property value increasing by 67%, and this specific year by 26%, it made me try to understand or question how the assessor's office was coming to a conclusion on a market value for my property. And I guess that's the basis for the initial petition. The response to that was actually in agreement that the initial appraisal was not supported, which then again raised question for me, if that was the official statement to begin with before I petitioned, what was utilized to establish that increase in market value. The secondary part of that was when the appraisal was provided back to me, it was still a 14% increase, and it was supported by the assessor's office. And in that example, they provided 5 different properties sold in 2025, close to my property, in which state were in a different market than my property is. They were based on a median home in property, which equates to approximately $375,000. And in that, that medium is the most marketable space. But based on the WCREC, which is the research out of University of Washington, they provide an annual report on market value increase for medium homes. 2025 provided a 3.9% increase in market value. 2024 provided a 5.11. So they also illustrated that there was a 31% decrease in market value in the state of Washington for 2025. So these posed additional questions on why is my property going up significantly when all the data illustrates that there's a decline in housing demand and that it doesn't reflect the research data provided by universities as well as counties.
Anything else?
That should be it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So there's 2 different, I think he spoke about the one where his house is at. The first one I'm going to talk about is petition 2025-018 is the 1.31 vacant lot. That one, on page 4 of my response, we've got a list of all the vacant lot sales in the area. And as you can see from the vacant lot sales in the neighborhood over the last 5 years, we have an average of $5.57 per square foot of vacant land in this area. I did speak with the city of Ephrata, their building and planning department, and based on what they told me, there's no minimum lot size before something can be built on a parcel, so long as whatever is built allows for a 5-foot setback on the sides and 15-foot setback on front and back of whatever is built. The city of Ephrata doesn't have a lot size where they will or will not allow anything to be built, with the understanding that the owner has to pay for all the infrastructure, including power, water, septic. However, due to the lack of access to this individual parcel, we determined that we were gonna go ahead and give this property a 75% access adjustment. So that's what we're requesting, that the board here is adjust the current assessed value from $33,250 down to $8,312 to reflect the cost and everything to develop this individual parcel.
Any rebuttal?
Yeah, and I apologize. I should have stayed on course with the parcel. I do want to reflect that last year's assessment of the parcel was $5,000. This parcel is landlocked, no right-of-ways or easements to access to it. I have also consulted with the city looking for the opportunity to build upon it. And the cost to build upon it is prohibitive. So again, I question using the average land parcel sale that does not reflect the same type of property as mine. Why there was initially in 2026, it was a 533% increase in the market value of that 1 acre parcel. Then consequently at $8,000, that's still close to another 30 to 50% increase in market value of a piece of property that cannot be sold or is cost prohibitive to be built upon.
Anyone else?
No.
So 75% reduction, is that any lot that's not accessible? Or how did you come up with that 75% reduction?
That was a number that Matt had come up with
So it's not a set standard?
It's, as far as I understand, that was a number that he had come up with.
Want to just roll right into the next one?
Might as well.
Okay. The next petition we'll be hearing is petition number 2025-019 for parcel number 35244-1304-24401, represented by Kyle Hussey, who is in attendance, and the assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance.
Mind you have been sworn in, so go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want me to repeat. I started with that property first, so.
It's up to you. If you want to repeat what you had to say, that's fine. If not, we can.
No, I think I pretty much spelled it out on the first one. I do want to say one last thing. I want to make it clear, I'm not opposed to providing market value share, because that illustrates the increase in the value and also the taxation amount. So that's where I proposed the 5% relative to the state studies.
This subject is a one-story single-family residence built in 1983, spanning 3,124 square feet with an average good quality and average condition. The home has 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, with a 2,485 square foot finished basement, a 577 square foot attached garage, with a 649 square foot open wood deck overlooking the city of Ephrata. Outside the home, we have 2 large outbuildings, 1 large shop next to the home that is 1,728 square feet, built in 2009, and the other shop that is at the bottom of the driveway that is 3,680 square feet, built in 1983. when we looked at the sales, to support the initial value, I picked 5 homes that were of recent sales that we had that were closest in size to this, to the subject. And based on the direct sales comparison grid, we determined that we weren't able to support our initial value of the $863,518. But based on the sales comparison grid and the comps that we do have, we can support a value of $798,145. And that is the request of the assessor's office here to adjust the new assessed value to $798,145 based on that sales grid and the comps that we do have.
Any rebuttals, sir?
I think just reflecting back on the market value studies that I came about, one of the things that I did want to question or have a better understanding on is on the page in the rows where the market value assessments were conducted. At the top of the page and the row of sale price that illustrates the sale price of each one of these, for which I did look up under the property and map sifter. I believe that's the same map that you use under GIS. And so that is accurate. What I was curious more about is the total adjustment for that property example sales reflects a $442,000 where the market value assessed by the assessor is below the sale price. So in my understanding of market value, it's based on a sale price, supply and demand. So if the house sold for $363,000, the assessor's office looked at it as an appraised value of $290,000 when it had sold 2 months prior. And yet here it reflects a total adjustment of the value of that house of $442,000. So those numbers don't add up in my mind. And likewise, I went through and looked at each one of these properties and what their sale price was, what the assessor looked at, what the assessed value, market value of that house is, which every single one of them, the market value was below the actual sale price that was conducted in 2025. And then yet again, the total adjustment, just need a better understanding on why that reflects $500,000 for one house, $309,000, $490,000, which is significantly larger than the sales price, which then was utilized to compare against my property. And then likewise, the last row, the adjusted market value, I see no description or definition of what that reflects, and it's listed below the same column as the house, which is in most circumstances 3 times or 4 times the price of the sale price of that house.
You want to address that?
Absolutely. So the way that this thing works is we put the subject into the first column here. And then all of the sales that we have, the comps that we have, we put all their information in there. And so like I said, the subject here is 3,124 square feet. Well, the first comp is only 2,082 square feet. So in order to make these two comparable, in order to make them even, basically, we're gonna have to make this first comp equal to what the subject is. We have to add $111,000 to basically the assessed value of the first comp to accommodate for the, 1,200 square feet, 1,100 square foot difference in the homes. And so that's how these sales grids work, is if the comp is smaller in square footage than the subject, we're gonna add a value to it to make them even. If it's larger, we're gonna subtract a certain amount to make those two even. And then, like you said, down at the very end, and we do that with square footage, garages, any outbuildings, anything like that. We add a value, subtract a value to make them comparable, because I mean, not everything is exactly equal. We're never gonna find another 3,100 square foot house that sold with a 2,500 square foot basement to do a direct comparison. So we take the sales that we have, we put them into the sales grid, and we make the sales that we have as comparable to the subject as we can by adding or subtracting a value. That gives us that adjusted value down at the bottom. that's how much, if this first comp was a 3,100 square foot house, had the 2,500 square foot basement, that's what we would have to add in order to make it exactly comparable to the subject. So we add that value to the sale price, and it gives us our adjusted market value for what that house would be if it was, in this case, 3,100 square foot house with the 2,500 square foot basement, the 577 square foot attached garage, the 2 outbuildings. And that's how these things work. And that's how we do it. We take the sales that we have and we put them into the sales grid, and it gives us the value in comparison to whatever the subject is that we're comparing them to.
Do you have a copy of the sales comparison with your,
Yeah, I've got it
okay.
here.
Can you explain to him the different colors in the sales comparison, so he knows what you're talking about?
The different colors.
Yes. Off on number 5, you have a red color and
Okay,
some
so
black.
So the red is a number that is being subtracted. In that one, the effective age of that house is it's a 2011 is the effective age. And the subject is 2003. So that one is effectively based on quality, condition, things like that. That one's roughly 8 years newer than what the subject is. So we subtracted $12,000 from that one to make those two comparable.
Okay, do you understand that portion?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any rebuttal?
Yeah, it seems to me that this is a linear market value, again, because even with the addition, what you're looking at is a medium home price comparison, which is a marketable home price, right? Because again, there is no example of sales to compare against my property for the market proposition. So when we talk about a fair market value, supply demand, my home area is a very small limited market because not everybody is coming into the city buying those type of properties. So then when you say we have a property that's a medium home, and now I'm going to take that, divide it by what that sale is, that still doesn't answer for the marketability of my property. So when we're using terms like market value, we also have to bring into scope the supply demand, the capability, the influx, the population, what type of demographic that influx is. And so I think that leveraging a linear equation doesn't really reflect market value.
Rebuttal?
This is how we do it to make sure that everybody throughout the county is valued equally. This is the process that we have. This is how we've always done it, and this is how we're going to continue to do it. We value everybody's house in the county this way, and that's how it's done. That's the policies that we have.
Anything else? Questions?
I don't have any questions on this one.
Mark?
Jeremy, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
How much what's the square footage of the bigger shop, did you say?
I believe it's the bigger shop is 3,680 square feet.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearings. The board will review all of the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2025-066 for parcel number 18394-0813890000, represented by Wix Holdings LLC, John Wixon, who is not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
Are we recording?
Yes.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. The Board of Equalization is an independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakehill as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Mark Steinmetz as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay. Since there's no appellant, go ahead.
All right. This is for petition 2025-066. The subject is a 1982 single-wide manufactured home with fair quality and fair condition, with a 264 square foot tag-along addition on the side of the home. The home has aluminum sheet siding, single pane windows, and a flat rolled roof. There is an 864 square foot detached carport next to the home. When putting this home into a direct sales comparison grid and using 4 other single wides in this area that were closest to age and size of this one, we determined that we could support the value, the current assessed value that we have on the home, and of $87,862. In response to, in the petition, he wrote that he'd bought the house in 2025 for $50,000. The sale was in December of 2025, which is well past the cutoff for any sales that we use to create our market adjustments. This sale will be used in next year's market adjustments, but for this year's assessed value, the sale took place far after the cutoff date of April 30th. And so it is this office's request that the board sustain the current assessed value of $87,862.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You've got it as fair condition. Can you describe how you come up with fair condition?
So I don't have the thing with me, but we've got a list that kind of describes what fair condition is. Original windows. Do you remember what all's on that list? Original windows, original roofing, original siding, things like that go into creating that fair current condition of the home. And when I was out there, I mean, you can look at the pictures, the siding hasn't been updated, the roofing hasn't been updated, the windows are still the original single pane windows. And that's how I came up with the fair condition on the home.
What would differentiate fair from poor?
If, say, the windows were broken, the siding was falling off the house, maybe the skirting was missing, things like that. If there was, the roof was leaking, things like that would definitely drop that current condition from fair to poor. But when I spoke with the lady that was home, when I spoke with her and asked her those questions, I was told that there was no issues with the home, the roof wasn't leaking, no, nothing like that at all.
I don't have any questions.
Marge?
Okay. This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2025-090 for parcel number 35846-130840000, represented by Jacob and Karen Medkey, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding a true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Mark Steinmetz as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind, Mr. Chair, for the record, these are my backdoor neighbors. I do know them, but I have no problem being fair and hearing this on the board.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, this is for petition 2025-090. The subject is a 1940s single-family residence with 1,640 square feet, built with average quality and in very good condition. The home has 4 bedrooms and 2 3/4 bathrooms with a 728 square foot finished basement. There's a large 518 square foot patio off the back of the home. There's also a 672 square foot detached garage with a 308 square foot air conditioned loft atop that garage. When we look at I put this into a direct sales comparison grid. I had 3 sales that we used. Before I get to the sales, I'd like to address the sales that were submitted in the petition. They submitted 4 sales. Sales A and D took place after the April 30th cutoff, so they weren't used this year to develop the market adjustment. They will be used next year. The sale B it received a different market adjustment than the subject. It was in a different group with the sales. That group was 1,200 square feet and over and homes that are 1950 and newer. The subject, the market adjustment, the group that it was in was 1,200 square feet and over and older than 1949 and older. So they're two completely different sales groups, which is why that one wasn't used. And the 4th sale, sale C, is a sale that I actually used in my sales grid. It's the 3rd sale in my sales grid. And based on those sales, in that direct sales comparison grid, we found that we couldn't support the value that we had it at $449,712. But based on that sales comparison grid, we can support a value of $354,604. And that's the request of this office, is that the board adjust the current assessed value to $354,604.
Marge, questions?
Nope.
Jerry?
When you determined that, it's curiosity more than anything, you determined that, the value, you couldn't support the value. Was an agreement letter sent out to them?
I don't remember.
No, and like I said, it was curiosity.
Yeah. I don't remember if I believe I contacted them on the phone, and they were looking for in the high 200s and $80,000 off of that. So.
No worries. Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization. We'll be hearing petition number 2025-092 for parcel number 35706-130704000, represented by Abram and Shania Gomez, who are in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakel as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Mark Steinmetz as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Yes.
Okay. The appellant will go first and present any testimony, then followed by the appraiser. So go ahead. Who wants to start?
Okay. I just I had advice from my loan officer that that helped us purchase a home, saying that there was something weird with the taxes or something, and I didn't know what I was getting into. This is the first time I've bought a home, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like getting in trouble. I don't really know what I'm doing here.
What we paid for the house is fair.
Okay. And that's what amount?
It was we got a loan for
We
$330.
got a loan for 330,000 and I think we closed it was either 316 or 318.
Yes.
Anything else?
That was with 11.5 down.
Okay.
So the total came out to 330,
Okay.
what we paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, the subject is a one-story, single-family residence built in 1955 with average quality and an average condition. The home has a main living area of 1,983 square feet and a 1,581 square foot finished basement with a 434 finished basement garage. The home has 5 bedrooms, 2 3/4 bathrooms. On the outside of the home, we've got wood siding, vinyl windows, and a comp shingle roof. When I pulled the sales that we have in this area, I used the ones that we had that were closest in size and age to this home. And they gave me 3 different sales, and you put those into the direct sales comparison grid. We can support the value that we currently have it at $400,017. They noted in their appeal that they had an appraisal done on the home. The home itself appraised for $400,000, which is where we have it valued at right now. This sale took place on the end of November 2025, so it was after the cutoff, so it was not used this year to create the market adjustment. It will be used next year to create the market adjustment for this home and other homes like it, but this year, because it took place after the cutoff, it wasn't used. And so it is our request that the board sustains the current assessed value of $400,017.
You said they supply
They wrote in their response that the appraisal on the home was for $400,000. The home appraised at $400,000 is what they wrote. They bought it for $330,000. They said it was appraised at $400,000.
That seems accurate.
Do you have any rebuttal?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Do you have any rebuttal?
Yeah, I do, because the house is not a 5-bedroom house. It's a 3-bedroom house. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs. There's no bedrooms downstairs. There's no way for there to be a bedroom downstairs. One is the laundry room. The windows are not accessible. You cannot escape through the windows because of a fire. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs. There's 2 bathrooms downstairs and 1 bathroom downstairs.
Okay, I'm still trying to find the information that you wrote in about the
It's the
appraisal.
second page.
Is it
Way
the
up
second
on-
page?
Second page, yes, question
It's
3.
part of their grid. One more. Keep going. Right there. On top.
Okay. All right. Okay, you have anything else?
If it's only a 3-bedroom house, that's something that we can change. The number of bedrooms It's not something that we use when we create the valuation. We go off of square footage, plumbing fixtures, but the number of bedrooms isn't something that's used in developing the valuation for the home. So if there's 3 bedrooms, that's definitely something that I can go back to the office and adjust in the system and change it to a 3-bedroom, 2 3/4 bathroom home. That's not a problem, but the number of bedrooms doesn't affect the assessed value of the property.
Did you make any attempt to contact the appraiser's office?
I don't believe we ever actually had the house appraised within our own selves.
No. Did you get a hold of the assessor's office? That's what I'm asking.
I don't think so. I don't think we did. No.
Is that the office
Well,
over there?
it's more directed towards Mr. Ritchie. Is it safe to assume this was an arm's length transaction?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, that's,
I've got no reason to believe it wasn't.
okay, good enough for me.
And also for you,
Yes, sir.
I have a question on your grid here. A bit confusing off to the right, comparable 4 and 5. Is it there for a reason?
4 and 5, the blank ones.
Mm-hmm.
The sales grid that we have has 5 spots, and it doesn't allow you to remove blank ones.
Okay.
So we just leave them blank. The way it was built, we don't have the ability to remove the blank ones and submit just the 3.
Right. Anything else? Marge? Okay.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2025-104 for parcel number 37024-131689529, represented by Eric and Jennifer Homer, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of a property, not property taxes. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brinkle, as chair, Terry Gingrich, vice chair, and Marge Steinmetz as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
All right, this is for petition 2025-104. I need to start off, I made a mistake in the square footage of the home. It's not 4,990 square feet like I have written in my response. The square footage is 4,250 square feet. That was something that I made a mistake on. So I just want to make sure that that's correct. It is 4,250 square feet, 1.5-story single-family residence built in 2013 with good quality and in average condition. The home has 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, with a 3,411 square foot finished basement and a 1,536 square foot attached garage. Outside the home is stucco siding, vinyl windows, and a comp shingle roof. Out back is a large patio and 800 square foot in-ground swimming pool. There are no sales comparisons to a house this big in the exact neighborhood. In his petition, that was one of the things that he wrote, that there's no comps for anything like this. He also stated that nothing over the last few years had sold for over $800,000 which isn't exactly true. Let's see. There was one, where's this one? Actually, this one's in the same neighborhood. That was 5,449 square feet with a 744 square foot attached garage and a 760 square foot swimming pool. It sold for 1.5 million in June of 2025, which is, since it's after the cutoff of April 30th, which is why it wasn't used in this year for market adjustments. It will be used next year. There was another one. One in Moses Lake that is 5,209 square feet, sold for 1.5 million in April of 2022, and one down in Desert Air that was 4,224 square feet that sold for 1.5. Because there was no sales of anything comparable to this one in the neighborhood at the time, there was no market adjustment given. We have this home valued simply at the cost to replace it new and then depreciated by age. When there's no comps, that's the only thing that we can do is come up with the value to replace the home as if it were new and then depreciate that value based on age. And based on that, we request that the board sustain the current assessed value of $1,201,889.
Okay, on page 6, I'm confused. While looking
The-
into this appeal, it was
Yes.
discovered that the value we have on the subject is based on 4,250 square feet. Space and 720 on the second floor has
Yes,
been omitted.
and
And that will be adjusted for next year for 4,990. You just said that 4,990 was incorrect.
correct. And that was, I discovered this yesterday as I was going back over things and refreshing my memory on everything. That's where I discovered that I had made the mistake on the square footage. So that last paragraph should be completely omitted from my response. The home is the first floor. You can look at the sketch that I submitted. The first floor is 3,510 square feet, and then there's an additional 740 square feet of living space above the garage. That's where you get the 4,250 square feet. When the math was done, that second floor, that half a floor was added twice, which is how we got up to the 4,990. So that was a mistake that I made. When I discovered that, I looked in the system. I pulled it up in our Marshall and Swift system, our valuation system, and we're valuing the home at the 4,250 square feet. I verified it. I went and spoke with Matt, the chief appraiser, and he verified it as well, that the home is being valued at 4,250 square feet. At the time of this assessment, that's where we were at. I made a mistake when I wrote up my response and added that number in there twice. So that was my fault. But the home is 4,250 square feet. It's being valued as such. And that last paragraph should just not be there, and that's on me.
No, he answered my question. Okay.
Okay. Might as well just roll into the next one.
The next petition is petition number 2025-105 for parcel number 37023-131689528, represented by Eric and Jennifer Homer, who are not in attendance. And the assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Mr. Chair.
Remember, you're under oath. Go ahead.
Okay, the subject is just a 1 acre of vacant residential lot. Due to a clerical error with our land values and the new programming that we have, we had some parcels that jumped up to an extraordinary amount. These have all been fixed, and it is our request that the board adjust the current assessed value from $148,750 to $63,000 for this parcel.
Okay.
How did you come up with 63,000? I mean, just use the appellant's number?
No, so that's Matt is the one that came up with these. I had already, but it was, I believe they just went back to what it was previously valued at for land rates this year. I believe.
Here's on the, last year's was 63, so.
Yeah, we had some computer issues and the land values in some of these areas just went crazy. And
Appreciate it, thank you.
Marge, anything?
The next petition is petition number 2025-106 for parcel number 37025-131689530, represented by Eric and Jennifer Homer, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
great. And this subject is a 1.53 acre vacant residential lot. And the same thing, we had some clerical errors with the land rates. And to fix them, we moved them back to the value that they were previously, which is based on land rates, land sales and things like that. That's where that value last year came from. So it is this office's request that the board adjust the current assessed value from 183,750 to $94,500 on this parcel.
All right.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearings. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2025-197 for parcel number 38296-140567000, represented by Thomas Lynch, who is not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville, as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Marge Steinmetz as a member. We reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Still no, okay. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
All right. The subject is a 1,100 square foot home built in 1940 with average quality and in average condition. The home has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 884 square foot finished basement. Outside the home has stucco siding with rock trim and a comp shingle roof. Out back, we have a small patio and a wood deck. There's also a 273 square foot detached covered porch and a 400 square foot detached garage. I went through the sales that we had and selected the 4 that were closest in age and size to the subject. And based on the direct sales comparison grid, we can support the assessed value, and that is the request of this office is that the board sustain the current assessed value of $283,554.
Okay. Jerry?
Yeah, I do have, The appellant submitted evidence on, right before the deadline and pictures and stuff like that. Was that taken into consideration? Talked about an unfinished main bathroom, and the detached garage is in very poor condition. He's a whole bunch of pictures, not a whole bunch, about 6.
I don't know that I saw those, honest to God.
I'm not seeing them either.
Go to the very end.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's,
oh,
it's
the-
after his evidence.
Yeah.
On our computer.
Right. Okay,
So I mean, I would conclude
We
then
have them.
he submitted the evidence to the Board of
To us
Equalization
and
and not the
not them.
assessor, so.
right, okay,
Yeah, keep going.
yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Does the appellant's information that they only have one bathroom come into play at all?
I have it, 2 bathrooms, right?
Correct.
If they've only got one functioning bathroom, it would be a matter of taking 3 plumbing fixtures off, which is a couple $1,000, is what it would be.
Any other questions? Mark? Okay. Right,
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2025-213 for parcel number 39422-141197000, represented by Roland Mitchell, who is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
the hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brinkle as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Marv Steinmetz as member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines and please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay. You, the appellant, go first and then he follows up. So go ahead, sir.
I moved here about 9 years ago. When I came here, my assessed value property taxes were $800. The current now is $3,300, $3,300.
Okay.
So it's risen significantly
Again,
over on the assessed value. Fair market value,
okay,
right?
but again, you're talking about your taxes. We have nothing to do with taxes. We're only the assessed value. So,
Okay, well, I'm here to discuss the assessed value.
okay,
I'm just trying to say that's where I'm at, where I've come from and where I've come to. So on the assessed value of my home is 1,000 square foot. I've only put on a roof and I only have fenced half of a yard. And that's all I've done to my house. I haven't done anything else to my house. I provided you with this thing from Windmere. Went out, had a real estate, come and look at my house and see what they would put it on for fair market value. And according to this report on the fair market value, falls between the 238 and 260 something thousand. And when you look at the last chart in the page there, 238 to 264,000 fair market value. And when you go to his graph, on the graph, on the fair market value for 1,000 square foot home, it falls into the $250,000 fair market value range. So I'm trying to have my home assessed for the 250,000 fair market value. I know that the assessor's office has assessed it at $316,000. And all the assessed value is based on what it could be. If I have a great salesman and I get a great buyer, I might get that, but chances are slim to null that I will get 100% of what the assessed fair market value is. So I'm only asking that my property be based on a fair, what I consider fair, not the top, not the bottom, middle of the road is what I feel is a fair market value assessment. And that's what I'm asking for today.
Okay, I have a question for you then. Did you send that information to the assessor's office?
I provided it to the assessor's office.
I got a copy of.
Okay,
And I also included another page that just gives a quick synopsis of, I'm sorry, I have a lung problem, so got to bear with me. It's hard for me to
No
speak.
worries, take your time.
no?
The other one I provided was a page that just gave a quick synopsis of over like 100 homes that were sold in the Ephrata area and what the fair market value of those were. Now, I didn't go on and on. I could have searched forever to find the right house and the right thing and the right deal, but I'm just trying to make it simple and easy and not go into huge detail. I'm just trying to get the fair market value for this area, for these homes. My home is an older home and has had little to no improvement other than the roof and the fence.
Okay, go ahead.
The subject is a 1,031 square foot home built in 1951 with average quality and average good condition. The home has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Outside the home is brick siding, vinyl windows, and a comp shingle roof. There are 2 garages. One is 294 square feet attached garage, and the other is a 432 square foot detached garage. I did sort through the sales that we had, pick the ones that were closest in age and size to the subject. And when I put them in the direct sales comparison grid, we found that we could not support that assessed value at $316,365. We can support a value based on the direct sales comparison grid of $293,895. In response to the sales comparisons that were submitted, every one of them, all 3 of the comps that were in this additional submission here, all of them took place after that April 30th cutoff date. So none of them were used in this year for developing the market adjustment. All 3 of them will be used next year to develop the market adjustment for next year's taxes and next year's assessed value, in fact. But this year, none of them can be used because they all fell after that April 30th cutoff date. And so it is the assessor's request that the board adjust the current assessed value to the $293,895.
May I speak?
Yes,
Okay, so he's saying that I didn't get that to him in time to include this in this year's.
no, you're misunderstanding. There's a cutoff date for sales, and that cutoff date is April 30th.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay, so it's not that you didn't get it to them.
No, I understand that. But in their letter, they make no mention of that I need to submit it by the April 30th cutoff date, or it would not be accepted or submitted into this year's for tax purposes. So that's unfair to me. You know, if they said something in their letter that all the sales need to be provided within that area or within that time frame, then I could submit it based on that criteria. But there was no mention in any letter that says I have to meet this criteria in order for it to be considered. And matter of fact, the closer that you get sales closer to the home would only substantiate that the true market value is based on what it actually is. You know, to put it back to something that I could have done without them telling me I should have done it is unfair to me. It's unfair representation.
And your response?
No, the cutoff date that we go by is a date that's given to us by the Department of Revenue. That's not a date that we pick. All sales after April 30th get used for the next assessment year. That's the rules that we have to follow.
If you don't mind, it's actually the law, it's not rules.
Okay,
It's actually required by law.
yeah.
So if it's law, then it should be stipulated in his letter that I can't use any, they don't tell you that.
And once again, it's not his rules, it's the law, it's the state's law.
I
So
understand that.
it's incumbent on you to do your due diligence and research. He can't provide every piece of information. Your packet would be that thick.
I understand that, and I tried to limit that myself.
So I just,
You know, I understand, you know, I don't agree with the fair market value law. I feel it's very egregious to people that live in your area to constantly assess people on a fair market value where people have to pay what could be and not actually what is. I have none of this money in my pocket, and I won't have any of this money in my pocket until it's sold. So I consider it unfair, but I do know it is the law, and I can't change it in overnight position. But as a homeowner that decided to retire here, live here in Ephrata and build my home, it doesn't want to make me stay. It doesn't attract me. It makes me want to go away from here. Ephrata city has gone up. The state has made my insurances go up. And so the more and more the more you put on the consumer, the less the consumer has a desire to live and reside within your city or within your state. So, you know, I know that you take all of that into consideration, but you should also take into consideration incomes, people's incomes and the living that they make. I moved into my house and I've been trying to improve it. And if this is what I get for trying to improve it and make it a better place, I would say, live like a dump. Why do I want to have that kind of an attitude? I want to live in my home and have a nice house, nice member of the community. I want my place to look nice and that, but if I'm going to be taxed on it and egregiously, then I'm just going to quit and let it sit like a pigsty. You know, I mean, that's the alternative. And I don't think it's a great alternative as a tax board to have your people feel like this. You know, I'm not asking above or beyond, I'm asking for fair. That's all I did. I came and I asked for fair. I could have said, well, it says 238 right here. I want 238. I didn't say that. I said 250. And I think that's fair.
and if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, thank you for all the evidence, but once again, that's what they would sell it for. It's not what it's sold for. Fair market value is what's being sold.
I understand that,
So,
but
I
I do not have fair market value money in my pocket. I know we go round and round, and I understand that. But fair market value does not put any money in my pocket. What puts money in my pocket is when it's sold.
Okay, anything else?
Sure.
Anything else, sir?
No, I think that's, thank you so much for your
All
time.
right.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all of the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2025-220 for parcel number 45470-1608620022, represented by Rick Shaw, who is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is myself, Jim Brakeville as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Mark Steinmetz as a member. We reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay. The appellant will go first and present, and then the testimony from the appraiser. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have three basic questions. My taxes, starting in 2023, it went up 51,000. Then it dropped because of the dispute of what I didn't have that I was charged for on that property. Dropped 48,000, then it went up again 89,000 this year. And I've been charged, I mean, I still haven't found out how far back it goes where I was charged for things like a basement, 1,277 square foot basement, which I don't have. And a lot of other things, windows, multiple pane windows I don't have. The heating, the furnace I don't have. Fireplace I don't have. And I tried to get a sheet this year, and evidently it's changed. It doesn't reference this same stuff the way it used to on the breakdown of my property. And my biggest question is why it drops so severely, and then it corrected last year, and then it came up again 89,000 this year. And I just don't see the value there that for an $89,000 jump in property value. When I haven't improved anything, I haven't done any remodeling or anything, but my biggest question is, am I still being charged for these things that I was being charged for quite some time? And then I never got I never got any retribution from that. And
What did you list, sir?
pardon?
List them off for me, please. The basement shows 0.
Well, yeah, my dispute was multiple pane windows, basement, which I never had a basement. I don't know how long I've been charged for that.
There's no basement showing on here.
Yeah, now I guess in the new, I just got yesterday on this breakdown sheet. The furnace is not working. And the fireplace, I don't have a fireplace. It's a chimney in the house. It's for a wood stove or whatever, but it's not a fireplace. And I guess that's my biggest question is how can last year it dropped 48,000, then it comes back up 89,000.
Okay. Anything else?
Let's see. No, I guess that basically covers my dispute.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. The subject is a 1,484 square foot single-family residence built in 1974 with fair quality and fair average condition. The home's a 3-bedroom, 1.75 bathrooms. There is a 440 square foot attached garage outside. The home has wood siding, single pane windows, and
Doesn't have wood siding.
it doesn't have wood siding?
It's aluminum, I believe.
Okay. And metal formed seamed roof. There's a 1,080 square foot shop in the back. When I sorted through the sales that we had, we didn't have very many. The sales that we do have are all older sales. The 3 sales that I did have, when I put them into the sales comparison grid, we could support this current assessed value of $303,784. And that is, our request is the board sustains the current assessed value of $303,784.
Can you tell me if you address the non-fireplace, does that change anything for him?
So what we have valued currently is, I believe on your paperwork, it says direct vented gas. We don't have a fireplace. I looked into, literally yesterday, I was looking at, or yesterday or the day before, whenever I printed that out for your daughter. The difference, because he does have a wood stove, we do have to value the wood stove. And the direct vented gas,
Personal property, it's like furniture, it's like a couch. How do you throw that in?
that's just one of the things that we have to do. We value wood stoves, fireplaces, things like that. It's one of the things that we value.
Personal property.
It's part of the house. It heats the house. It's,
Actually, I don't use it for heating the house.
well, we value it.
Address-
It's there, and so it has to get valued. And so, when I looked at, because it's not an actual fireplace, I didn't want to value a fireplace. The direct vented gas is the cheapest option I have for value. I don't have a wood stove option in the system that we use. The direct vented gas option is the cheapest by about $1,500 or $1,800. I don't remember exactly what it was. But that was the cheapest option I had as far as valuing a wood stove. And so that's the value that we went with on that one. I can't speak on what was valued last year. We don't have a basement valued. I have single pane windows valued. All of that he's addressed is all being valued correctly as we sit here today.
Yeah, my question is, how do they get charged? How long was I charged for a basement that I never, ever had? How does something like
There's no
that?
basement showing on here, so we don't have any.
In past years, though, I get no fallback for that.
Well, you'd have to file an appeal for those years. We were only looking at this tax year, this assessment year, excuse me.
Anything else?
No, sorry.
Do you have anything, any rebuttal?
I guess that about covers it.
Okay. Questions?
I don't have any questions.
All right.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization for the administrative hearings portion of the day. The first petition that we'll be hearing is petition number 2025-012 for parcel number 35221-130407000, represented by Stanley and Carolyn Swenson, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance, and he will be representing the assessor's office for the entire duration of the administrative hearing portion. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearings are opened.
Hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. There are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakebill, as chair, Chair Gingrich as vice chair, and Marge Steinmetz as member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. As there's no appellate, does the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay. The subject is a one-story, single-family residence built in 1986 in average quality and average condition. It is 2,007 square feet with a 1,933 square foot basement. 1,202 square feet of that is finished. The home has a 375 square foot attached garage and a 371 square foot basement garage. The home has 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. There's a 526 square foot wood deck in the back of the home. There's also a 512 square foot swimming pool built in 2000. When we put this pulled the sales that we had as close in age and size to the subject and put them into the direct sales comparison grid, we found that our assessed value was a little bit high, that we couldn't support the assessed value of 551, but based on the direct sales comparison grid, we could support a value of $539,980. In response to the comps that were submitted in the petition, Comp A is a bi-level home. So it's in a completely different category. We wouldn't compare that to a single-story home. Comp B is also, it's older. It received a different market adjustment. Market adjustments that were given to homes older than 1961. So it received a completely different market adjustment simply based on the sales that we had. And then Comp C and D are in completely different neighborhoods, not in the same neighborhood as this home, so they wouldn't have been used to create a market adjustment for the subject whatsoever. So based on all of that, it is the assessor's office recommendation that the board adjust the current assessed value to $539,980.
Questions? Mark? Okay.
You're gonna move to petition number 2025-013 for parcel number 35224-13040900, represented by Stanley and Carolyn Swenson, who are not in attendance.
Keep in mind you're still under oath.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All right, and so this is a 3,041 square foot vacant parcel. There is currently no road access or utilities on the parcel. Based on the vacant land sales that we have, all averaging $5.57 a square foot. And after speaking with the city, and there not being any limitations on parcel size as far as building, so long as there is 5-foot setbacks on the sides of whatever building and 15-foot setbacks in front and back. Based on the $5.57, it is, or per square foot, it is this office's recommendation that the board sustain the current assessed value of $11,000.
Here a second, I just want to look at the number here. Just looking at something real quick. So in a previous hearing, it was stated that you gave a parcel due to lack of access and mitigating circumstances, you dropped it 75%. How come that wasn't affecting this property?
So this one, I don't know if it's on the map, but this one's the guy's backyard.
Okay.
These are, if it was on the map, you would, the parcel that the house sits on sits in one spot, and then, so here we are.
Yeah, you answered my question. Thank you.
So that's why he's got access to every one of these. Literally just walking into his backyard.
Thank you.
The next petition is petition number 2025-014 for parcel number 35225-1304090001, represented by Stanley and Carolyn Swenson, who are not in attendance. Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
The subject is a 4,931 square foot vacant residential parcel. Again, there's currently no road access or utilities on this parcel. Based on the sales that we have at $5.57, it is or per square foot, it is our recommendation that the board sustain the assessed value at $11,000 on this one.
Somehow the math doesn't equate to me. I'm 4,931 square feet times $5 is more than what your figures are. Am I missing something here?
No, so when we do residential lots, even though we've got it broke down and we can support the value of $5.57, when we break the residential lots up, we do them by quarter lots. And so based on a certain size, 0 to 3,000 square feet is going to be one value. 3,000 to, I think it's 69.99 is going to be the next value up. And so it goes based off of the lot sizes itself. It's not an exact 4,950 square feet times the $5.57. That's just representing the value that we can support. And then we use our residential rates and the lot sizes like that.
Can you read the parcel up?
Sorry, this is the next one.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying is that the blue portion on the picture here is basically his backyard. Then the next one was that 27-foot easement or piece of property, and this is the third one? Is that correct?
Easement, what do you mean the easement?
Well, sorry, easement's the wrong term. The other piece of property we just did.
Yeah, that's the 1409, I believe.
Just the one to the west of it.
This parcel was the first petition heard.
Yeah,
Okay,
This parcel was the second petition heard.
right,
yes.
all right. Going on to 15. But that's just the next piece, is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
So next is petition number 2025-015 for parcel number 35226-1304100, represented by Stanley and Caroline Swenson, who are not in attendance.
Oh, I see. I was confused by the 1 and then the 0, yeah, okay, all right. Go ahead.
Okay, this subject is an 8,601 square foot vacant residential parcel. No road or utility access. And we can support the value of $5.57 per square foot. Is our recommendation that the board sustain the current assessed value at $22,000.
Mark? Okay. On to 16.
Next is petition number 2025-016 for parcel number 35227-130411000, represented by Stanley and Caroline Swenson, who are not in attendance.
Go ahead.
This subject is an 8,292 square foot vacant residential parcel. There's currently no road access or utilities on this parcel at all. We can't support that value of $5.57 per square foot, and it is this office's recommendation the board sustains the current assessed value at $22,000.
Okay. Yeah, your name?
Lori Kinzel.
Okay. Go ahead and refer.
Do you want me to conclude this?
What's that?
Do you want me to conclude this one and start it
Yeah,
back up
let's
again? Then?
let's conclude it and start all over again.
This concludes this portion of the Grant County Board of Equalization hearings. The board will review all of the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2025-158 for parcel number 35032-1302640005, represented by Corey and Lori Kinzel, who is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
Thank you. The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakebill as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Marge Steinmetz as member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines and please address the board only. Both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay. The appellant will go first and then the assessor's office will present. So go ahead.
Okay, I know they said to bring comps, and that's why I'm here. My house is kind of different. It's a very large house. It's almost 2,300 square feet, but it's 2 bedrooms. And I feel by that, it lacks the sellability that other houses that are 3 and 4 may have. Because if you have 2 children, or even 1, you're probably not gonna buy my house. Because no matter how large it is, it's only 2 bedrooms. And I don't think that just taxing by square footage is completely correct in this situation. Second thing I'd like to point out is that the house I live in, when they built it, they planted 27 pine trees, which was great, but those trees are now 50 feet tall. So not just anybody can come by my house because they're not gonna be able to take care of those trees. When we moved there, we bought a bucket truck, which thank God my husband went to school for horticulture and he can trim the trees. But if we didn't, we would be paying thousands of dollars a year. People aren't gonna do that. So I just feel like my particular house does not have the resale that other houses would have because of that. I mean, I'm not doubting the square footage. I'm not doubting that I love my house, but I just don't think it has the same resale that other houses would have because of only being 2 bedrooms and because of the yard. Someone's gonna look at that and they're gonna just leave.
Okay.
And that's about all I have to say. I just wanted to argue those 2 points because I don't think that my house went up by $67,000.
Okay.
We didn't add anything to it. The only thing we've done is trim our trees.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, the subject is a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom, single-family residence built in 1984. Spanning 2,280 square feet. The home was built with average quality and in average condition. It has a large heated 832 square foot attached garage. Outside the home has 2 and 11 wood siding, vinyl windows, and an arch comp roof. When placed into the sales comparison grid using 4 of the sales that we had that were as close in age and size to the subject's property, we can support the value of $377,071. And that is the request of this office, is the board sustains that current assessed value at $377,071.
Can I ask, is it Jeremy?
Yes.
Hi, Jeremy. What comps did you find? I looked and looked and I could find no other 2-bedroom houses that were even close to the size of mine.
So I don't know if they're 2 bedrooms. We don't track bedrooms when it comes to when establishing an assessed value for properties. We don't use bedrooms. We use square footage. We use square footage, plumbing fixtures, things like that, but we don't, the number of bedrooms doesn't affect the assessed value of the home.
But it does, because to build
But-
another
but to-
bedroom, you have to put in additional windows, insulation, studs, closet.
Address
all
us
that.
Only. You
Oh.
can't, there's no argument between. the
Oh,
two.
okay, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead. Do you have any other question? Or
For
any
for
other-
what we do, for the job that we do, bedrooms don't affect the assessed value of the property. The way that we do our job, the rules, the regulations, the laws that we follow, the number of bedrooms don't affect the assessed value. We use square footage, we use plumbing fixtures, garages, outbuildings, things like that. but the number of bedrooms in a home is irrelevant to the assessed value that we have.
I'm talking to you guys, not to Jeremy. I do
Sure.
not agree with that.
Okay.
I was down having my hair done the other day, talking to the gal. She had to move out of her 2-bedroom house into a 3 because her 2 kids got too big to live in a 2-bedroom house, a boy and a girl. So she had to move out of her house and she bought a 3-bedroom house. I said, well, mine's 600 square foot bigger than yours. You want to trade? No, she needs a 3-bedroom house. So bedrooms do add value. You can't just go by square footage. That's ridiculous. It has to be determined in there.
Anything else?
No.
Any rebut?
And he said my garage is heated by,
The wood stove that
okay, we wondered, okay.
yeah, it's,
Anything else?
no, sir.
Do you have anything else?
I guess not.
Questions? Questions? Mark?
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 16th, 2026, and we are on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization for the administrative hearings portion of the day. We will start by hearing petition number 2025-031 for parcel number 38786-140884000, represented by Dennis and Vivian Plew, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office will be represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance for the duration of the administrative hearings. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted on YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearings are opened.
The hearing today is regarding a true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Reminder, this relates to the assessed value of your property, not your property taxes. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakeville, as chair, Jerry Gingrich as vice chair, and Marge Steinmetz as member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines and please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth.
I do.
Go ahead.
Okay. The subject is a 1-story, single-family residence, measuring 420 square feet, built in 1910. Home has wood siding, wood frame, single pane windows, and a comp shingle roof. Has 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and there is a 352 square foot detached garage on the property. Per the owner, the single-family residence does not have any utilities and is strictly used as storage. As it sits right now, we do have the home at low quality, low condition, and it's depreciated as far out as it could go since the home's 116 years old. So it's as low as we can assess the home. The issue is, as far as the city goes, the thing is still permitted as a home. And so what I instructed the owner to do was submit a change of use permit with the city and changing it from a dwelling to a storage shed or something like that. And then we can go ahead and change how we value it. But as long as it's permitted as a dwelling, we have to value it as a dwelling regardless of the condition that it is in. And so based on those and the fact that I have not heard whether or not he's submitted with the city to change of use permit, it is our office's recommendation that the board sustain the current assessed value of $54,099.
You had actual conversation?
Yes, I called and let him know exactly where we were at. Let him know that all he had to do was get a hold of the city, go downtown and file a change of use permit and change it from a dwelling to a storage building or a shed or whatever however the city wants to classify it. And once that's done and they can show us that that's been changed, we can change the way that the building is valued. But as it sits right now, we have to value it as what it is, what it's permitted as, which is a dwelling.
Okay. Jerry?
Just a quick question, and it might just be miscommunication on his part, his or her. In his appeal, it says house was built in the early 40s. You're saying it was built in 1910.
Our system shows 1910, so I don't,
Okay, and I was just, you answered my question by not answering it.
yeah, I don't know. I just know what our system shows, and it shows it was built in 1910.
Marge? Nope. Okay. On to the next.
The next petition is petition number 2025-145 for parcel number 39337-141153000, represented by Mel and Cindy Langendorf, who are not in attendance.
Mind you're still under oath. Go ahead.
Okay, this subject is a single-family residence built in 1950 with fair quality and in average good condition. The house has 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The outside the home has stucco siding, vinyl windows, and a comp shingle roof. There is a 496 square foot detached garage in the back of the home. Let's see. When I went through the sales that we have for this, I've got 4 different sales put into the direct sales comparison grid, the ones that were closest in age and size to the subject. And it was determined that we could support the value of $208,330. I know they submitted 4 different comps. Sale A and B are older sales that did not get used to create a market adjustment because we have a significant number of newer sales in this category. So those ones were not used. We had 9 sales altogether that sold in 2024 and 2025. And we felt that those 9 sales were significant enough to represent what the current market is. Sale C took place after our April 31st cutoff, so it was not used this year. It will be used next year. And sale D is a 1.5 story house. This subject is a 1-story house, and so we would never use a 1.5 story house as a comp to a 1-story house, which is why it wasn't used. And so, once again, it's our office's recommendation that the board sustains the current assessed value of $208,330.
Comp 1 is past your cutoff date, and you used it anyway. Is there a reason for that? Dated 4/11/25.
Yeah, the cutoff date's 4/30,
Thought it was
April
March?
30th.
March, okay, April 30th. Disregard the question. I thought it was March 30th.
No, April 30th.
Yeah, okay. All right. Any other questions? Mark? Okay.
The next petition is petition number 2025-147 for parcel number 37017-131689522, represented by Jeremy and Shannon Dahl, who are not in attendance. Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Okay, this one is a 1.4 acre vacant residential lot. We had some clerical errors when it came to vacant lots this last year, which have all been fixed. So it is our recommendation that the value, that the board adjust the current assessed value back to the $47,250 it was previously based on land sales that we have.
Question? Mark? Okay.
The last petition is petition number 2025-217 for parcel number 37020-131689525, represented by Charles Roberts, who is not in attendance.
Go ahead.
Okay, subject is a 1.85 acre vacant residential lot. Once again, we had some clerical errors when it came to the vacant lots in this neighborhood in particular. They've all been taken care of and fixed. So does the board's, or it is our recommendation to the board that you adjust the current assessed value to $78,750.
Marge? Okay,
Okay, this concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization administrative hearings. The board will review all of the information provided, and board orders stating their decisions will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decisions, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order.